Here, in the small, charming village of Lightwood, where fields of gold kissed the edges of deep green forests, a group of friends gathered, their hearts buzzing with the promise of a grand adventure. These weren't just any villagers, they were the chosen few, handpicked by a wise and gentle leader named Jesus. Not long ago, he had gathered them on a sun-drenched hillside. His words weren't just spoken. They were a spark that ignited a fire within each of them. Go into any town or village, Jesus had instructed, his voice filled with a quiet authority. Tell them about the kingdom of God. Heal the sick, and wherever you go, bring peace. A thrill of excitement, mingled with a touch of fear, ran through the group. This mission felt incredibly important, monumental even, but the path ahead was shrouded in mystery. What would they find? Who would they meet? Breaking the thoughtful silence, Peter, a brave young man and the natural leader of the group, spoke up with conviction. Let's begin with Meadowfield, the town just over the hill. Surely, we can find worthy people there who will open their hearts to our message. A wave of agreement swept through his friends. They were ready, eager to share the good news that had so completely changed their own lives. As they crested the final hill, Meadowfield unfolded before them like a storybook painting. Neat little houses with blossoming gardens dotted the landscape. The joyful sounds of children playing and the gentle hum of village life filled the air. With hopeful hearts, the friends entered the town, their mission clear: to proclaim peace. They made their way to the bustling market, a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds. Their smiles were warm and genuine as they greeted everyone they passed. It wasn't long before they met Sarah, a kind-faced woman who ran a small, fragrant bakery. As soon as she saw them, her eyes lit up. "I've heard wonderful things about you all," she said, graciously inviting them into her shop. "Please, stay a while. Tell me more about your journey and this message you carry." Slew. As they shared their purpose, the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread filled the room. And Sarah's hospitality made them feel instantly at home. She listened intently, then shared the town's hidden sorrows. Many in Meadowfield were sick, and a quiet despair had begun to settle over some families. Moved with compassion, Peter and his friends knew what they had to do. They decided to spread out through the village, taking Sarah's delicious bread as gifts of goodwill. They found old Mr. Thompson, his body racked with a persistent cough, and young Lily, a little girl burning with a high fever. As they prayed, laying their hands gently upon the sick, something truly miraculous began to happen. A soft, warm light seemed to fill each room, chasing away the shadows. A palpable sense of joy and relief spread as coughs quieted and fevers broke. People were utterly amazed, their whispers turning into excited chatter about the miracles happening in their town. Word of these healings spread like wildfire. Soon, it seemed the entire village had gathered in the main square, eager to hear what these strangers had to say. The friends shared stories of the kingdom of Gada, kingdom built on peace, unconditional love, and unshakable hope. The townsfolk were captivated, their hearts open and receptive to the beautiful message. But not everyone in Meadowfield was so welcoming. At the far end of a lane lived a grumpy man named Gerald who watched the joyful gatherings from his window with a suspicious scowl, his face twisting with disapproval. One afternoon, he couldn't contain his anger any longer. He stormed out of his house, waving his hands dismissively. "Who do you think you are?" His voice jarring the peaceful atmosphere. "Causing such a fuss with all your fanciful tales. We don't want your blessings or your stories. Leave our town." A shocked silence fell over the crowd. A wave of sadness washed over the friends. They had come to share light, and here was a wall of darkness trying to snuff out their flame. But Peter, clinging to the wisdom of Jesus' words, felt a surge of quiet courage. He looked directly at Gerald, his gaze steady and calm. "We came here to bring peace," he said firmly. "But if you do not want it, we will respect your wish." He then turned to his companions. "It's time to go. Shake the dust from your feet, just as Jesus taught us. If a town closes its heart, it is not worthy of the message." His friends nodded. Their resolve hardened. They would not let one man's anger diminish the good they had done. As they prepared to leave Meadowfield, they shared heartfelt goodbyes with Sarah and the many others whose lives they had touched. "Don't you worry," Sarah said, her eyes glistening with tears. "The hope and healing you've brought will remain here long after you're gone. You've planted a seed." With hearts that were both heavy with farewell and light with purpose, the group departed. They journeyed on, through sunlit fields and past sparkling streams, their bond as a group growing stronger with every step. Each new village was a new opportunity, a new set of hearts to meet. They learned a vital lesson on that journey. Deny. Every person, not every place, would welcome them with open arms, and that was okay. Their job was not to force the message, but to carry it faithfully, like a gentle wind, seeking those who were ready to embrace the light. Days turned into weeks. They found new friends and temporary homes in the most unexpected of places. Like in the village of Duskvale, where an old man named Elijah welcomed them with fiery stories and a warm hearth. Finally, their travels brought them back to where it all began, to the same sunny hillside where Jesus was waiting for them. They gathered around him, their faces glowing with experience, and shared all their tales, their joys, the miracles, the challenges, and the rejection. Jesus listened with a kind and knowing smile. When they had finished, he spoke. "You have done well," he said, his voice full of warmth and pride. "You have spread the message with love. Remember this: peace is a gift. Some will receive it gladly, and others will turn it away. What matters is that you offered it freely, from a place of love." Peter and his friends nodded, a deep understanding settling in their souls. They realized their journey wasn't over. It was just the beginning of a much larger story. They were seeds of hope planted in the fertile ground of many hearts, destined to grow, flourish, and continue walking the path of peace together. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If it touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. We'll see you in the next one.